Welcome to the Critically Clueless. I'm the Monk, and we are back in Wasteland 3. Today, we are going to be doing a character build. It is going to be a Blade Master. Now, I've recently done one for a blunt weapon, so I only thought it fair to look at a blade as well, as that one has quite a few good little perks and a few things that we can do that are a little bit different. Okay, so when it comes to background, this guy we are going to have lethal weapon. Yep, it's the same as the blunt. But really, there's just no reason not to have it. Yeah, there's a couple other things we could do, but that 10% buff is just really, really good. Yeah, there's no point not to have it, honestly. Especially if this is going to be a melee guy. So what I've done is I've preset the 14 points that I would have spent if I was starting a character out. Um, and then maybe what we could do is bump it up, and I'll show you mid-game area and maybe what you're looking to try and max out. Now, with a melee character, you really want a lot of coordination. It would be nice to have speed as well, as that enables you to get into the battlefield. And of course, we're going to need a lot of strength, because strength is health, and melee guys, they are going to be getting hit a lot. Intelligence helps really a great deal on a melee build, because what you're really looking for is that criticals. The crits in this game are insane, and if you can get them, it really does deliver. Obviously, the more intelligence you have, the more luck you have, the more chance of these crits actually happening, and they can really pay off late game. Mid game as well, they really are so good. They can really turn the tide of any battle as well. Um, but like I said, with this guy, speed, coordination, it's important because movement is so important. You need to actually be able to get on into that front line and up against all the battle and still have your points left. Remember, we're not doing brawling, we're doing melee, which means everything's going to cost more. So coordination at least up to a 7 is probably... you could probably get away with 6, but you really want that 7 at least. And strength, as soon as you can, you want to max that line, because you need that extra health. Not only do you get that extra health, you get that extra buff with your melee weapon as well. It goes hand in hand. It's probably the most important attribute, apart from obviously coordination, that you're going to need. After that, awareness is pretty good too. Awareness enables you to actually guarantee a hit. It's really good for obviously range builds, but it does mean you get a guaranteed percentage of a chance to hit as well. So I like to put a little bit of awareness in. Luck, obviously, we've spoken about luck, as that talks about your crits. And this is pretty much it. This is where I would like to aim for. Like I said, if we can bump strength up to max, I would prioritize strength over most things in this game for a melee character. Well, I mean, I pretty much prioritize strength in this game over anything else apart from a sniper build. But again, don't neglect your coordination, because you're going to need it. When it comes to skills, obviously, we are looking at melee. And remember, we're looking at sharp, we're looking at blades this time. So the level 2 perk, bleeding strike, is pretty good. It's something we can definitely look at getting. In fact, all of the bladed perks are pretty good. Also, you've got striking distance. Again, it's another perk to get. That one is at 5. And then hack and slash, that's also a pretty good one too. Definitely one that I will be looking at, and may even get the same with pursuit. But you really want to concentrate on upping melee as much as possible, as early as possible, because that's where you get your guaranteed hit chances, which is obviously really important, because the last thing you want to be doing is a swinging and a missing. Now, every character should have 1 point on first aid at least, and I like to go 1 point on animal whisperer as well. I think the pets really help. There's some buffs that you can get even from the level 1 pets, And of course, the first aid is so important because it enables you to use those med packs, and they are everywhere in the game. I don't know about you guys, but I seem to have an awful lot of them. So having every character be able to actually use them, you know, as well as my medic is really important. And for the quirk, we are going with Medical Marvel. Now, I completely forgot to actually include this in my blunt build, but I actually went with Medical Marvel there too. If you ask me, you get this early enough in the game. In other words, you build a character for this, maybe right at the beginning of the game. Maybe it's the first character you build. It pays off so much because you get the extra health with every single level. That's the same with strength as well. You want to buff that up as soon as possible. You're talking about 20 points per level for every level up you do. If you don't like Medical Marvel, Circus Freak is also really good. Basically what it does is it ups your movement speed. Yes, it means you're more guaranteed to get hit, but you're going to be in there and on that battlefield as quickly as possible. Serial killer for this guy is also very important too. It can definitely work as you're going to be in there amongst the enemies. You're able to get that final shot, meaning you're going to get those extra 3 points AP almost every single round if you play it right. But for me, the Medical Marvel is definitely where to go. So that's it. I just forgot to do the portrait. Got to do a portrait, otherwise you can't move on. I don't know why the game can't just randomize that too, but there we go. I just randomized everything. It doesn't matter. Let's move on to perks. So let's just load this up. And we're going to have a look about what perks is good for this character. Now, I'm actually going to equip 2 bladed weapons with this character. You can get certain weapons that actually work better against living NPCs, or say for instance robots and vehicles. So that's something to definitely look into. If you can get one of those weapons and do that, you can swap in and out in battle. The first perk we got was the healthy, gives us 35 extra health, and then hardened for that extra defense. We really want this guy to be an absolute tank. The first melee perk we're going to look at is Bleeding Strike. It costs 4 AP, but it's really worth getting. It deals an extra 100% damage and inflicts bleeding. So it's definitely something that you want to look at getting. It's an early one, only level 2. Everyone should have it. Striking distance is great. This is why I said 2 melee weapons, because you don't have a gun. It gives you 0.5 points to combat speed. It is a passive perk. It's always working. You are going to be in and out of that battlefield. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be able to move wherever you want for as little as 1 AP. It's definitely worth getting if you're not going to be looking at having a gun, and I would strongly recommend. This is why I'm going to do a Blade Master. This is why Blade Master works. And again, another like passive ability is Hack and Slash. So basically you're standing in front of someone with your bladed weapon. You hit them twice with a bladed weapon and you get a 3rd hit for free. That's really good considering the amount of AP you're going to get, considering the amount of movement speed you've got. You're going to be able to hit the same person 3 times, almost guaranteeing their death. But this is my Blade Master. I've been the Monk and we've been the Critically Clueless. If you've enjoyed, please like the video. Maybe think about subscribing and comment your thoughts. I will see you in the next video, guys. Catch you later.